Rob, which goalie are you going to go with tonight?
We're going to go with Linus.
Pat, you've faced two very different teams this week already. What do you expect to see out of Florida?
Well, we have a lot of respect for the direction they're going with the new coaching staff. You can already feel Joel's handprint on the group, and just like our situation here, there's a lot of newness and a lot of teaching and coaching going on, I'm sure, and we have a lot of respect for the skill that's in their group, and there's a lot of drive, a lot of speed. Their defense are extremely involved in the attack, and offensively they come hard, so they'll test our structure, and we look forward to a lot of excellent games against Florida. When I look at the games they've played so far this year, they're still not there where they want to be, but on a good day, those are going to be tough games.
What have you learned about Henry being around him now for a month? Just the kid he is.
I mean, Henry came in confident, and that was important. He came here with a vision on playing in the lineup and not just being a depth player, and he's confirmed adding depth to our defense by the way he's playing. The competition will be stiff when healthy bodies come back, and he's really done a good job at playing on both sides of the puck. I think his puck moving ability has been confirmed, but also the way he attacks and plays on his toes and looks for his gaps early, we enjoy that part of his game.
It's Pittsburgh. I mean, you had him out killing penalties. He's 20 years old, and here you are in the first game of the year in Pittsburgh, giving him all sorts of responsibility. Does he almost seem like he's older than 20 years old to be able to give him that type of responsibility?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, whether it's Yoki or Rasmus, Scandy, or Miller, I mean, those two pairs, it's funny because only when you start those conversations with me do I even think about their age. It's a strange thing, is the way I've always been as a coach, whether you're 35 or 19, I treat you exactly the same and expect the same habits from you. So for younger players, that can sometimes put pressure on them. But for older players, it also means they need to play like a young player. So it's this room here that actually reminds me of their ages. I haven't even ever seen him as a 20-year-old. I've just seen him as a player who needs to be playing a certain way within our framework, and that he's done a really good job of doing that. But it's actually good you remind me, because our conversation yesterday was about the pairs and the mentoring, and I went back to the coach's room and I said, I never really thought of it that way, but it's happening maybe organically.
To follow up on what we talked about with Darlene yesterday, I remember conversations with Jack when he was starting in the league the first couple of years about understanding when there's a 50-50 shift and just not trying to make every play and every shift.
Yeah.
In a sense, a young guy like Darlene, he has to learn that still and not fall into that trap of trying to do something at every shift.
Well, any player that's drafted first overall comes from a world where he had the puck all the time. And you'll see that with any pick within the first 2-3 in the National Hockey League, that the first thing is we coaches come into play and have to be hard on them on the game without the puck, and what the responsibility is to as a defenseman play, for instance, 25 minutes. If the coaches do not trust you there, you won't get those minutes. And it's doing that without taking away their genius is the challenge for us coaches, to have a player like that and finding those boundaries and those limits that you want him to go to, so that his genius doesn't get capped by our defensive needs, and that's what we're working on with Rasmus. But again, as I mentioned, every time I speak about him, he is so coachable, and he wants to be the best possible player in this league that he can be, and he's listening. And the important thing is that we find the balance so that his offensive creativity is always evident in our 5-on-5 and in our power play game.
Different position, but
Yeah.
kind of the same thing you went through with Taylor Hall.
It's exactly the same thing. Yeah, Taylor did not know that there was a game without the puck, really, because he had the puck all the time in junior. I mean, he was the very first player I worked with closely in the National Hockey League. So when I came in as the associate coach in Edmonton, Taylor was the first player I actually met in the locker room. I didn't sign there till August, and he had just been picked. And I remember the conversations with him, and to see him become the player he is today. It's he's like one of your kids in the history of your coaching. For sure, there's a lot of parallels there.
We talk a lot about your power play, but is your penalty killing where it needs to be, especially with guys like Gergensons and Larson? How have you felt your penalty killing has been?
Well, I think we've had some goals that aren't typical PK. We had the double, triple deflection a couple of nights, not in the last game, but 2 games ago. And I think that if you look at the structure there and the way we're executing, we those numbers will follow. I'm confident if we stick to the way we need to play. Power plays in the National Hockey League and the skill level and the speed with which everybody's executing, they're just all getting more and more lethal. And it's great for the fans. All the rule changes we have, many different situations with the way face-offs are now starting. You get to pick the corners, you pick the sides. It's just all power play supportive. And for the penalty kills, it's getting harder every season to have those numbers up where you'd like to have them. So on the PP side, let's keep taking advantage of it. But penalty kill, I believe those numbers will come. And we like the structure, we like the work ethic, and we're pleased with the players we have to kill.
What would you like to see out of Casey's line to see them take a step forward?
Offensive zone time is, and again, I've spoken a lot about the need to be stable defensively and to give us confidence that they can take care of that, and I believe that's really been strong, and they've had very few chances against. And now it's building some ozone time and some cycling and getting that skill set going. We'd like to see them play down below the hash marks a lot more moving forward.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks, Rob.